Hi everyone, welcome again to this space created for you. Assure for Life give you a warm welcome to this conference created for you. And also the topic of this week will be living in harmony with my family after loss. Is a grieving topic. Remember that we have two different topics in our conference content that is grief and also quality of life. Today we're going to talk about the grieving process. Remember that we also would like to give you the introduction of these topics, giving you the hope of every grieving process you can live it in a healthy way. For the reasons we create this conference, and we have to also take in care of every step of this conference. How we going to tell you if you are passing through this process, if you are attacked or stuck in one of the moments of the grieving process, or even what you can do for improve your feelings, or even the process in family or with your friends or with your partner. And today we're going to talk about the grieving process, how to live in harmony with the family. Remember that it's different to live your own grieving process and to live it with your partner, your husband or wife, live it with your parents or your friends. But when we have to live a grieving in our family, it's different because that is something that moves all the structure of our family. For that reason, we have to help or taking care during the grieving process have to live and restructure of their own family. For that reason, we choose this kind of topic for you. Knowing that, let me introduce with this quote. Families are like the branches of the tree. We grow in different ways, but our roots stay as one. We need to first understand the concept of the life and the meaning of being in a family. How are we going to understand this concept? We have a process to understand that every family will be integrated for parents, children, and grandparents, and then we're going to talk about our aunts or uncles, niece. We talk then our grandchildren, and at the same way, that is the structure that we have as a family. But let you talk about how this is important to take care a little bit more of how we're going to see family. The family is our first network of emotional support, and also will give you the chance to provide something in part of you, like the identity from where I belong. This is my last name, but my last name have a lot of story before. For that reason, it's important to recognize what it is a family. We bring for you a concept that you can find in everywhere that you would like to do the research about what it is or what it means to be in a family or the concept of family. We bring one for you. Family is the partial group in the interface institution between individuals and society. It constitutes the space by the first individual socialization source. It is the family where the person acquires his or her first experiences, values, and world conception. The family is the first school that we all going to have. Most of the time we have good schools and supporting schools as a families, and sometimes we don't have. But we're going to talk about family as a structure, as a social structure that all we have, or even where we all belong. Knowing that, knowing how we can accept and also know how it is confirm a family and also the structure of family, most important, if we already know the meaning of being in a family and the part of the family, then we're going to understand and being more realistic about how the departure of a loved one will be affect the family structure. Remember, the family is our first network, support network that we're going to make. Is the first one. But what happens family when one died? Remember when one supported family, what happened? How does the loss of a loved one affect the family life, the family structure, the family routine, the family talks? Let's see what happened. When a loved one dies, the family value system is disturbed, and therefore just the loss of involves a short-term or long-term changes to the family of great influence each other. This is the first moment. When loved ones die in the family, the systems will be changed in the moment when we lost one part of our family. It's so common that when the parents die, the children, the siblings that still living, start to feel the same empty feeling and a loneliness feeling, and sometimes they start to feel that sense of loss because now we don't have a guide, now we don't have the light that most of the times tell us how to live the life in a better way. Now we don't have the first person that I will always ask first for advice, or maybe for something that I need to know how is better for me, because our parents is the first person that we ask something that maybe we need to change or get better, because we know that they always will wish the best for us. But the reason when we lost our parents, the siblings, the children that are still living, feels like loss around the life, and even loss as individuals. What do we have to do right now? And it's important to look a little bit more about our own questions and how we are developed inside, like a personal kind of way to see the life, and also being individual that can take their own decisions. That is the main gift that our parents can give us. But that sense of being lost in the life is common when we lost our parents. Knowing that, one of the other parts of this slide is one of the most seriously affected aspects is the family identity and its members. The identity that we develop inside our families is so important because we develop a role. The role that we have to develop in our family is so important, and at the same way that role gives us identity inside of that family. If I know that I am the father of the family, I have some kind of roles. If I know that I am the mother of the family, I have some kind of roles. But knowing that sometimes not always we have father and mother in the family. Sometimes we only have the mother, and sometimes we only have the father. But fortunately, sometimes the grandma or the grandpa can have or even develop the task or the role of being father or mom in the system of the family. Knowing this, many of the situations that we have to experiences in our life, like grieving or the loss of a loved one, not always it must be a crisis, but sometimes when it's a crisis, and also when we lost a loved one inside the family, could be a crisis, because sometimes the role that that person developed inside the family was so important and make that the family take a new restructure of their own system. Knowing that, we would like to tell you a little bit more of how we can understand the new identity that we have to develop inside the family, and also understand how we can accept that new structure in the best way, how we can live this new system of life, system of family in the best way, and also that will give you the chance to live a healthy rhythm. Let's give the introduction to that topics with this quote. Loss transforms us, but love holds us together every way steps. Remember that the loss will transform us, but remember something, that the loss is the one thing that most of the times will makes you feel that you belong for a person, or even you belong to a place where you can be yourself, where you can express your feelings, where you can feel support. What we can do, or even what should we do as a family in the face of this kind of loss? One of the first things that we need to do is share the loss reality. Share the loss reality comes from this moment, three moments. Confronting our own, accept the reality of the loss is also accept that I can die too. And that is the most impact moments that we need to live and experience during the grieving process. Accept the reality of the loss of one of the family members is accept that can we all die in one moment. We always wish that the moment comes when we get old, when we also achieve a lot of goals that we have in our lives, but not always happen in that way. Knowing that and accepting the reality of our own mortality is the first step to confront and complete a healthy grieving. Intellectual and emotional acceptance. The intellectual acceptance of this reality is understand that it's natural that we're going to die. It's common, and that will always happen. That gives you a sense of that is something that will happen to everyone. And in the best way, also I will accept the next loss that I will live. And in emotional ways, accept that I feel the absence of this family member, but also I accept the love and all the gratitude that I have for that person. Second way to share the love is absence. I will feel in this way during my entire life, missing the person, but missing the person will be not a sad feeling, will be a happy and grateful feeling. When I can also accept that that person was so important for me, and for the reason I am missing that person is because I can have a good way to accept the reality of the loss, or even the reality of the death. So that is the second way to complete this shared loss reality. Clear and precise verbal recognition of what happening and the reality of the loss affirm the loss. Being clear of your feeling of the reason of the death, being clear of what happening also with your feelings, what is happening with you. You feel scared, you feel sad, you feel guilty. One of the things that will help you with the accepting of the reality will be to name the situation and what happened like it is. It was an accident. It was a death because the person was ill, or he was living on an island for many years, or even it was the person took their own life, or even it was an accident. And it was something so confronting for the person. And it's important to say this that happened in this way. We don't need to change the names of what happened and how the person died, because name the things how it was will give you the chance to accept the reality like it is, and also take care also of your own life and accept like it is, like the life it is. That kind of things can happen to me, and it's not seen like something tragic. It's seen like also I have the choice also to live my own life in the best way. The second way to do to live this grieving in harmony in the best way will be common experiences of emotions and grief. One of the advantage of live a grieving in our family is the way that I can share my feelings with my family members. Most of the times we can share the same feeling. That happened a lot, like I told you before with that example of the siblings. The siblings share the same feeling, lost their parents. But also inside the family, if you lost a son or a daughter, you can share as parents the same feeling, but also with your siblings, or even with an aunt or uncle that experiences the same situation, you can share the same feelings as a family. And also the good way to see this kind of shared experiences and emotions during the grief, you can feel supported and also share a lot of different emotions. Sometimes when we talk about one family member, we can also include that happy moments, or even the moments when you enjoy a lot the presence of that person, and start to laugh and start to enjoy the situation and the moment as a family. That makes you feel supported and also makes you feel comfortable with that kind of conversations, and also give you the chance to see this situation like not something tragic, also see it like something that normally happens around the world to all the people. Other of the situations that will give you harmony in your life and also to the family system is one of the things that we need to see was in a deeply way. The roles that we have to accept and restructure inside the family. Let's see this point. In the roles assignments among family members, the immediately family will be parents and children, or parents and grandparents, or parents, grandchildren, parents, children, and grandchildren. That will be the immediate family. The role but not the identity of the deceased must be assumed. We need to talk exactly with the difference of assume a role or assume the identity. When we have to assume the role, we need to also take in account two things that are important. When you have to assign the role of maybe the father or even the mother, we need to take the power to separate two things: the instrumental tasks and the emotional task. Sometimes the father role have instrumental tasks like the money, the economy, make some favors, go out of the house, go and look for the children, some kind of talks that need first and strength that maybe other person can do, that are instrumental talks, something that are easy, clean the house, kind of tasks that the person that have dead or have died do it in the common life, in the routine. And most of the times, the family don't know how to assume that role. And most of the things that happens is that kind of talks stop to do it, or even it start to be so rare to assume in some way. The best way to restructure is give to everyone a task where you can even know that the person will do it in the same way, or even in the best way if you feel better. And the emotional task will be that kind of emotional support, or even the way that the person expressed that makes you feel great, or it was the kind of person that make jokes and make that the family feel comfortable and laugh a lot of ways. That kind of situation and functions are important to see it. And also the way that we can see is that person, even when can see or even look in the best way, you can also understand that this is also a task that is so important, the emotional task. Knowing that we have the role and identity, we need to understand that even if I assume that kind of task that before developed my father or my mom, I don't need to assume that role or even change my identity as a son or as a daughter. I still being a daughter, I still being a son, even when I assume that kind of task. My father always will be the father. We don't need to change the role, or even we don't need to assume a different identity. Now that my father died, like as a son that I am, I will change my identity? No. That is not healthy for any family structure, because that kind of role will be only for the father. And even if the father died young, the children, the son or the daughter, don't mean that you need to replace that kind of role, or that kind, even in this situation, my identity will change. That is not necessary. And in some families, some of the members change their identity thinking that that will help for the family structure, and most of the time it's not healthy, because you don't need to take in charge of something that is not your responsibility, and not in an emotional way, and not always in an instrumental way. You can also give to you for everyone the different tasks. As a family, take one or two tasks that your father or your mom did, and then assume as you task, but it's not your role or identity. The other thing is emotional placing, the see and living on. The emotional placing is the way that you can even make a new or given a new place for that family member. We can also have this, for these tips that we give you, the chance that you can have to give a place for one of the members that now is not with you. This is something that most of the times we would like to invite you to do with your children that maybe done or even can burn. Most of the times the people don't name it. When a baby can burn alive, most of the times the family stop to name it, or even they don't give a role in the family, and they don't name it. Like, I have two children, or even I have just one daughter, but previously you had a no burn baby. It's important to name it like part of the family, and give in your heart a place, not only like mom, like a mother or like a father. You can give a place for that baby in your siblings or in your children's heart, or even in your grandparents' heart. And the same way that when you give that place in your heart for that person, you can feel that you still connected with that bond that will never die. And in the same way, give an emotional placing for that deceased person will give you the chance and the feeling of that person is with me. Now I don't feel lost. Now I don't feel this deep, empty place in my body, in my life. Give that new place will give you the chance to say to yourself, that person died, the body died, but that person burn again in my heart. And the other part will be new integration into the relationships, in the life goals and interests. It's important to see if, like family, if you would like to give as a family a purpose after this loss. If maybe your grandpa, your grandma have a big dream or interest, you can complete it or achievement as a family. That will be a purpose, and also you can give a new integration to your life, the purpose that you would like to continue. Maybe if that person, if maybe they don't have a project or something important to do, at the same way you can give to yourself the chance to accept the values that the person teach you, the moment and the time that he or her was alive, and also continue the legacy and complete that kind of interests, like take care of your health, take care of yourself. And in the same way you can also understand that maybe the life of the person ends with the death, but at the same way with you can complete the project, the dreams, or even will be the legacy of the values of the person. Keep in mind that grief is a possibility for individual and family growth. These kind of situations of a lot of pain can feel like the way the life can change it is a bad way. But the family crisis, the family grief will be the way that you can grow as an individual, but most important as a family. When you can live and experience this grief as a family in the best way, will be the chance to grow as a family, where you can also accept the family like a place where I can feel safe, where I can feel support, where I can express my feelings. The grieving process in a family will give you the chance to grow is if you live it in a healthy way. Closing the topic, we would like to give you this quote. The level of living teaches us to value every moment and live fully. When we accept the loss and accept the things that loss can teach us, at the same way we can feel that the life we can live it in the best way and live it fully, because we accept that what happened makes me feel and give me the chance to grow a little bit more. And in this case, not only give you the chance to grow as an individual, give you the chance to grow as a family. Remember that a cheerful life is the way that you can give to yourself the chance to understand the grieving process and live it in a healthy way. If you're a member of a cheerful life, remember that you have 3 counseling sessions without an additional charge. If it is a grieving process that you are living, but if it is for any other reason, you can ask for 1 counseling session per year. But also, if you are not a member of a cheerful life and you would like to learn a little bit more about the grieving process and also about quality of life, I invite you to give you the research of the YouTube channel, and then you will find a lot of different topics where you can learn and also reflect about these kind of topics that we talk. Remember that also we have Facebook and Instagram social medias assistants, and also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you would like to let us your comments and suggestions, we will be so grateful to read you and also understand and take into account your comments, and also the suggestions do you have for the YouTube channel, and also the different topics that we previously talked, or even some kind of topics that you would like to learn a little bit more. We would like to also invite you to the next upcoming conference. The next one will be on November 6th. That will be resilience, strength in the facing adversities. And also on November 20th, and is accepting and facing my loss. The next conference will be about quality of life, and the next of that in 1 month coming will be about the grieving process. We also would like to give you the instructions. If you would like to be part of the Assured for Life company, you can contact us through the WhatsApp that you can find there in our slide, or even email us if you would like to be part of our company. Knowing of that, we see the next conference talking about quality of life. And remember that Assured for Life is what we all deserve.